Round two for Dakota and I today. Thanks for joining me again, Dakota. How you doing?
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm good. How's everyone in here doing?
Good, good. Thank you.
Good.
Awesome. So, really honored to have you both in here, both George and Eli. You're both looking strong. You're both looking a little fuller in the face since last
Right?
time I saw you.
No cutting weight.
Yeah.
Skeleton.
You now correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys both get to just kind of eat your way into this class, right?
Yeah, I'm not cutting. So right now in the morning I weigh around 183, 184. So I still have like a couple more pounds to gain. Um, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, you can eat whatever.
All right.
And George, you were telling me a little bit before we went live, but what's your weight right now?
Right at 187, 180. So right on the
Is
money.
yeah.
But
So that's perfect because you guys don't have to worry about the diet or the weight cut part of it. You just get to train and come in as strong as possible. It's always nice when you get to do that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm in the opposite boat. I had to cut like 50 pounds for my match. So
For which one?
July 6th, Ibrahim Sagov.
Oh, you have to cut for that one?
Yeah, it's at 253, and like
Oh
one
wow.
one month ago, I was like 305. So
Yeah, you look skinnier. I was gonna say, are you cutting on purpose?
yeah, I'm trying to get down to your class so I can face you guys.
Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck.
why all that
Do what, George?
I was wondering why you were healthy food.
Yeah, that's what. Just to hold myself accountable, I had to post it on Instagram so everyone can be like, "Oh, Chance, you're dieting good." I'm like, "Oh man, now I have to be committed." But yeah, before we hop into your guys' preparation, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the King of the Table that just happened. About a week and a half ago now. George, I'll start with you. Were you able to watch any of that event?
You know, man, I feel like a piece of crap. I didn't watch it at all, to be honest. I've been so busy with the new job and getting situated at my place, and just been busy.
Yeah, no, I mean, no worries. You would be surprised. It's probably more than half of the guys on the podcast did not watch any of it. So you're not alone there. Eli, did you happen to watch any of that?
Yeah, yeah, I watched everything.
Okay. What did you think about the event as a whole? Did any matches stand out to you?
The event was great as always. Yeah, there was a couple surprises for me with matches like Paulin. He surprised me a lot because I thought it's gonna be like a 50-50 match. I thought there's gonna be a big war. I thought it's gonna be tight and they'll go to a silver board, but
Mhm.
he surprised me with his power. Honestly, I think
Yeah.
it was what 6-0 or 4-0.
Yeah, 6-0, I believe.
Yeah, 6-0. Yeah, 6-0. He just dominated. It, it was crazy. Yeah, after his couple, what, one or two losses in his previous matches, he would prepare well, and he did. So he's probably stronger now than he was before.
Yeah, well, not only coming off of the losses, but just like you guys are getting to do with your match here, he got to eat into his class because he
Oh,
pulled
that's
Lachlan
right.
at
That's right. He
105.
didn't have to cut. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
Which who knows? I mean, maybe 105 is a better class for Poland. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Well, he did mention he's gonna stick to 95. So
Yeah.
I don't know how he makes that, what, 10 kilos or
I think he walks around usually like 220. So
okay.
for him it's not too much of a cut, like
Yeah.
5 kilos or so.
Yeah. No, I hate cutting myself. So I mean, I always been cutting, but right now I'm good. I don't have to do any of that.
Yeah, it seems like the 187 class is almost perfect for you, Eli.
Yeah, that's what's I walk around 183, 184, 185, just in that class. What else? And then what's his name? The guy from Georgia.
Revaz and
Rivas,
Georgie.
and Georgie. I thought that Georgie will win. I just didn't know that he's gonna dominate so bad, like
Yeah.
with Rivas. I thought Rivas would take him maybe 1 or 2 rounds because he's fast. I thought he's gonna open his hand, top roll him out, like maybe 1 or 2, like for example, like similar to Sergey Kalininchenko match, where Georgie lost first 2, and then he was able to cut him inside at the end
Mhm.
and was able to win the rest of the rounds. Yeah, that one. And then who else was there? I knew
There was
Vitaly is gonna win.
yeah.
I knew that Vitaly is gonna win. Um, who else was
Did
there?
you
There
have
was
Ryan Bowen
Petrenko.
winning? The
Oh
GOAT
yeah,
Ryan
Ryan
Bowen?
Vaughn. I knew. I figured that Schoolboy is too much for Ryan. Not that Ryan is not, not that he's not strong. No, he is strong. Especially that round where he was able to stop him for a moment, and Schoolboy couldn't finish. That surprised me a little bit.
yeah.
But then he adjusted. He was able to keep the height, maintain the height, and was able to take his hand and finish every round.
Yeah. What did you think of the Petrenko Angerbayev match?
Argomba, I knew that Petrenko. I thought so that Petrenko would be too much for Angerbayev, just too much power. Even
Yeah.
though Angerbayev is more technical, but Petrenko is just too much. He's just way
Yeah.
too much.
I'm a big fan of both the guys, but I was very happy that Petrenko won. As
Yeah, I know
Petrenko.
Angerbayev since I don't know 2011
Okay.
when I first met him at the WAF Worlds. He was still pulling juniors. He was pulling, I think, 70 kilo. He
Yeah.
was actually in the finals with 70 kilo in Kazakhstan 2011 with Hermes, and he got second to Hermes. Hermes got first right-handed, and he lost to Hermes 70 kilo. And then in Brazil, he won. Um, and I've met him every time when we would have tournaments back when I was still in Uzbekistan. So he
Yeah.
was technical. He was always technical.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been a great athlete at the top of his class for a long time.
Hmm.
But yeah, overall, King of the Table was a great event. Obviously, we're all excited in this call for what we have coming up on June 15th as well.
I'm very.
A lot of amazing matches, 15 matches. Your guys' match is in a lot of people's minds maybe one of the most potential for match of the night. It has potential to go either way and be really close, and so we're all excited about it. Before we get into your guys' preparation, George, I'll start with you. Can you kind of give an introduction about yourself, how long you've been pulling, where you're from, and maybe some of your big wins?
Yep. Well, long story short, he's a world champ. He was a legend, sure.
Who is
But
it?
Burt Whitfield.
George's dad. George, you're cutting out a little bit. That's why maybe it's hard to hear you. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, my dad, his name's Burt Whitfield. He's got several world titles. But yeah, ever since I was a kid, he was bringing me to North Carolina, Tennessee. I was arm wrestling with LeFay. I was a little kid, 7 8 years old, going to stuff. So, but that was when I was like back in Georgia. So now the past 4 years, in Florida, just been really training consistently. Started training Austin Wade over in Palatka, Florida.
George, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're cutting out pretty bad. Do you happen to have maybe some headphones you can try to connect to?
I do not have my headphones. They're in the car.
No worries. Maybe it might be because your phone's set down. It's like echoing or something. So you said for the past 4 years you've been in Florida now?
Well, ever since high school, I'm 27 now. Past 4 years training in Florida.
Okay. And what would some of your biggest career wins be so far?
Dusty Hyatt and Sadiel over in Puerto Rico used to beat up on me. So just the main wins I got in Tennessee, round robin, my biggest win.
Yeah. So you're also obviously your number one rank in Florida at 176. You got a ton of big wins in the 176 round robin. In my opinion, watching it, you looked very, very strong. Maybe one of the strongest guys in the class, but your endurance for that round robin format maybe just wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah, that format was just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Eli, if you don't mind, same thing. Introduce yourself. Let everyone know where you're from, how long you've been pulling, and some of your big accomplishments.
Yeah, I'm originally from Uzbekistan. I moved in 2014 to the United States. I've been pulling since I was probably 16 or 15, 16, that range. I started over there and then I competed at the WAF Championship juniors and seniors 2011 in Kazakhstan, 2012 in Brazil, and 13 was my last Worlds in Poland. Um, I always took third place, unfortunately, but you know,
Hey,
it
podium is
was
still very good.
yeah. And then in 14, I moved to States, to the United States. Currently living in Washington State, representing Washington. Um, so been pulling over 10 years. I don't know, like since 2000, late 2010 or late 2009, somewhere around there. So like
Okay.
13 years, maybe 14.
And who would you list as some of your biggest wins, either arm?
My overall or like in the States?
Overall.
Um, if we talk about the last one, probably Justin Bishop right now at Tennessee round robin. I had wins pretty much, over Giannis Amalins. I had wins over Luke Kent at the WAF finals in Las Vegas, right-handed. I had wins, over good guys. Well, the last one probably would be the Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you looked amazing in Tennessee. You went undefeated in the left-hand round robin. In my opinion, you went through it very easily. Other than your match with George was the only one that had really any
Yeah,
interest.
see, I don't know George. I didn't. Now I know George. Who is he? But when I was on the table with George, I didn't know who George was. So I didn't know the way he pulls. I didn't know his level, and I was super like relaxed and not trying to like load or anything like that to keep my energy. And to be honest, he surprised me a lot. You know, he was able to hit first, so but he couldn't finish. He was able to hit, able to move me off the center. He did that twice, but could not finish.
Yeah.
And the match stopped because his elbow.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up perfectly. George got you probably a couple inches from the pin pad.
Yeah, honestly, I want to say George for that because he waked me up for the rest of the rounds. It kind of was like wake up. It's like a wake up call. Wake up. So it was good.
George, you cut out. What did you say?
That was a nice tone setter for the round robin.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great way to set the tone. Real quick, I just got a super chat from Shelby Cross. He says, George for the win. Best of luck. Shelby's in your corner. I know he'll be there at the event. Thank you, Shelby. Yeah, so there you go. There's a little bit about George and Eli. George, I'll come back to you. Can you let me know a little bit what your prep has looked like since you accepted the match with Eli? I think you had about a month and a half of notice for this match. Did you change anything in your training to prepare for Eli, or did you just try to continue to get stronger?
Just condition my elbow a little better with a little more hooking movements with my left, you know. So, but because my elbow isn't as conditioned as my right, you know, but I'm doing as much as I can the past 4 weeks, not trying to overdo it, you know. But nothing really changed, really. Just it was very short notice, but I'm still 100% prepared.
Yeah, and so you say nothing changed, but what does your training typically look like? Is it a lot of gym time? Is it a lot of table time? Is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. More gym time, but on the table, like once once a week, you know, over at, in Davenport with garage grinders. So doing a lot of training.
Awesome. So just staying consistent has been your big thing for the last month.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I would imagine you've already started to taper off your training going into the super match.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just basically resting and eating right now. Eating as much as I can, you know. So I sweat a lot throughout the day. I work outside in this 100-degree weather.
Yeah,
So
it's
eating
been
as much
brutal
as I
this week.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Now, Eli, same question to you. You've had about a month notice for your match with George. Did you adjust anything in your training, or did you kind of keep it consistent?
After Tennessee, I kind of gave myself like maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks, 10 days a rest, and then I was starting to because I was thinking to go to the Arizona State, which happened like last weekend or something.
Yep.
I wanted to pull David from California. You know David?
Mm-hmm.
I think his last name Eguian or something.
Yeah, again or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
from
I just wanted to
Armenia.
see where I'm at, to see if I can, give him a match or something. And then you proposed me an offer, and that was great. Um, my training was I always train in my garage. I don't have a gym membership. What I've changed for the past, even I did the same preparation for the Tennessee. If before I would practice almost to the last week and then give myself a week rest, and I changed that to right now. If I know I have a tournament, then I'm not practicing at least 4 weeks.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I'm not training. I'm still training, but I'm not practicing. I'm not pulling guys. I might just do technique, just ready goes or work on my technique, but I'm not actually pulling guys to make sure that when I show up, my arm feels it at the best.
Gotcha. So your training and your progression is almost exclusively through weights, because you've only had about 4 weeks.
Yeah. So my last practice was 4 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a different approach, and that's interesting to see. Um, so I guess let's talk about the card as a whole and work our way through.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know a certain athlete, feel free just to let me know. Hey, I don't know this person. That's totally okay. I don't expect you guys both to know everyone. If you only know one of the athletes on the card, feel free just to talk a little bit about them. But we'll start with the first match. It's a left-handed super heavyweight match. It's between Ahmed out of France versus Dane Sellers out of Florida.
That's
Eli, I'll start with
left-handed.
you. Yeah, left-handed.
Okay. I met Dan Sellers in Florida for the first time, where he beat Leonidas. I think he beat him right-handed, and he gave him a good match left-handed, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's coming from like powerlifting, or I don't know,
Yeah.
bodybuilding or something like that. So he has the strength, you know. And I don't know the other guy from France, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the other guy, so I don't know where his level is at. So I think I give it. I think Dane Sellers will take it.
Okay. Just to comment real quick on Ahmed's level, just to give some sort of idea, he's number one in France, both arms. He won French nationals and in his class and overall. And then in WAF, he's usually placing around 7th place, 8th place.
What weight class in WAF?
In WAF, he competes at 110.
110. What class they gonna do in Florida?
It's unlimited.
Unlimited. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ahmed is weighing like 125, I think, and Dane is weighing like 115, 120.
Okay. So then I would say Ahmed probably have better technique
Mhm.
because he's been pulling at WAF. He has the experience with athletes in Europe. Dane, he's on the other side where he's powerful, he's strong. So if he can put his strength together with technique, he'll take it. If if it goes to King's move and stuff like that, you never know. But I think I'm giving a slight advantage to Dan Sellers because of his strength.
Okay, that's fair. George, how do you see this match?
I don't know the other guy, but the way he's progressed and here, I mean, he hasn't even been doing this that long. It's pretty amazing. He is coming from a powerlifting background, like you guys said. His technique is there. He is just about a year or so into the sport, but he's so dang strong, man. If he gets anything, I feel like it can go well for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dane is a monster, and you got to train with him just a couple weeks ago. And did you get to grip up with him much?
I did not get to grip up with him.
Okay. But you were able to see how he was pulling with a
Oh, yeah.
lot of the strong guys in Florida, at least.
Yeah, I was watching him.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah. Dakota and I have done quite a few podcasts, so we won't give a really long description. But real quick, Dakota, what's your score prediction?
Actually, I want to say I watched both these guys after you told me to earlier, and
Nice.
I think it's going to be a big battle of who gets their lane with this one again as well. From what I saw with Dane, he's like a really well put together guy, and he looks really solid. And I think if he gets in there, he'll be okay. I found a video that Ryan Bowen posted where he was pulling Ahmed, and I noticed that if Ryan was keeping his wrist and kind of even giving side, he was giving Ahmed something. But as soon as he kind of got back and got his wrist, he was just going through Ryan. So I think it's going to be a very center-based battle on who kind of gets that first.
Nice. I'm proud of you for doing some research, Dakota. Coming prepared to this. Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great breakdown. Just like you said, however, I give a slight edge to Ahmed just because of his experience. Next match, we'll go back to you, Eli, is Shane Owens versus Carl Stanley. Are you familiar with these two?
I've seen Carl pull before. It's left-handed, right? Or right-handed?
This is right-handed.
Right-handed.
Yeah.
See, I can't predict that match because I've seen Carl a few times pulling, but he had some good wins and losses, but I don't know about the other guys, so I can't really say much.
Okay. Just
I assume it to be, a good one because, you probably know both of them and.
Yeah, they're both in supers, so that's my category. So I do know them quite well. Shane was actually there in Tennessee. I got to grip up with Shane. He didn't compete, so he was just spectating. But Shane trains in South Carolina with Adam Warzinski, Chad Silvers, Hunter Knopf. He's on that team. So he's very powerful. He was about 330 pounds a year ago, and today he's 250. So he dropped about 80 pounds, but he says his strength is the same. He just is healthier, better endurance, better speed.
Okay.
But
I'll say 50-50.
Okay, fair enough.
50-50.
George, what do you think about this?
Man, Carl, he's a beast. Shane, I've kind of been studying him the past month or so when I met him in Tennessee. I know he's very strong, but I just don't really know how he pulls exactly. What angles he goes, but Carl, he's very strong and he's very versatile, and I'm going for Carl, of course.
Yeah. Half root guy.
I think it's going to be a banger for sure.
Yeah, I expect it to be very close. What do you think, Dakota?
Is Carl's left hand or right hand better?
Traditionally, his left hand is, but I'll tell you right now, he's having some left-handed issues. Is at least what he said last time I spoke to him. So his right's been looking actually more put together the last couple of events I've seen him.
He looks
Wasn't
pretty
he ranked
explosive.
#1 left-handed? Sorry.
In Florida,
Yeah.
yeah, he was for a long time. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
now
Yeah, I
it's
know him for his left hand. I don't know about his right.
yeah. Left-handed has historically been better, but recently right hand has been
Okay.
doing better. I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Sorry, Dakota, you were saying?
No, I was just both these guys look deadly inside. From what I was watching, and Carl seems really explosive. Like he gets that surge, and then he's not afraid to do that second surge.
Yeah.
What I've seen, so I think I just don't know the strength of these guys is the only thing for me. So it's kind of just watching, but I could see it being a really fun match. I think those surges from Carl could cause some issues, but we'll see how Shane does.
Yeah. Should be interesting. I favor Carl slightly, 55-45 here. Next match, back to you, Eli, is John Therian versus Robbie Karstendijk. Are you familiar with these guys?
Yes, I know John. I've seen him pull his big win probably over Artem in Canada, right?
Yep.
And I didn't know another guy until I seen him pull with Coach Ray in King of the Table, and he surprised because I didn't know his background and stuff like that. Even though he lost, but the first round flash pin, I was kind of surprised. And then I saw him pull at Arm Wars, right?
Yeah, Arm Wars, he is where he pulled Frodo
With
Holland.
yes, Frodo, right?
Yep.
Frodo is very good inside and very endurance, and the fact that he was able to keep up with endurance and still win. So I say if John can get him inside, he will able to finish. But it's gonna be hard for him to match his hand. I think. What's his name?
Robbie?
Robbie.
Robbie. Okay, yes, Robbie. I think Robbie's hand is much stronger than John's. So if Robbie is gonna keep his hand flat and take his hand, I think he will able to finish. So at this point, I think it's gonna be 50-50.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good analysis.
Because if John gets him inside, waits and drinks his blood, he'll take it. But if Robbie's just gonna flash pin or with top pro up in his hand,
Yeah. And it's hard to say because these guys have never pulled. They both have pulled Coach Ray, and Coach Ray beat both of them. I think
Yeah.
John also got one round on Coach Ray.
one or two, something like that.
Yeah.
Because Coach Ray pulls inside,
Yeah.
and they both pulled inside. So, but here, Robbie Moore is like an outside puller. So I think whoever adjusts better and hits first, takes the advantage, is probably gonna be the favorite to win.
Yeah. George, how do you see this match?
I think this is a really good matchup, man. Robbie, yeah, he is more of an outside puller. I agree. If he keeps his hand more flat and gets to his lane outside, it'll be a good day for Robbie. But John's just so dang strong inside, man.
Yeah.
I've pulled John before too. He's got such a big, thick hand; it's very hard to deal with. But yeah, I think Robbie might have this one.
Okay, taking Robbie. Dakota, how do you see it?
I'm sticking with John. Got to stick with Canada on that. But I do think, like Eli was saying, I think adjustments are going to come into play with this. And that's another reason why I give the edge to John, is just because John has been pulling everywhere all the time. So,
yeah, John, definitely one of the most active pullers. He's pulling everywhere. He pulled Artem in Canada, and then it seemed like the next week he was in Puerto Rico pulling, and then he's back in Canada pulling, and then I saw him pull in Florida here, and he's just literally everywhere. So I have to give John the edge here just based off of experience, but it is a very close match.
Yeah.
The next match is you guys. So all I want from you is just your score prediction. Eli, I'll start with you.
See, I don't want to say too much, but I don't know the score. It could be 3-0, it could be 3-1, it could be 3-2. Just because he felt really strong, actually. He surprised me a lot. It's probably going to come down to endurance. I know I'm going to win. Sorry, George. No disrespect, trust me. I respect you, and you're very strong. I told you even in Tennessee, but it's going to be my day.
Final score, lock it in.
3-0. I'll say 3-0 or 3-1, something like that.
Okay. George, how do you see it?
I believe I'm a tad bit faster, and I feel like I'm coming in a lot stronger, and I'll be able to finish what I need to do early. So I believe it'll be a freaking war. I believe I'll come out on top 3-2.
3-2. Okay. George, in my opinion, the toughest part about this entire match for you is your elbow. So I really hope you can keep it planted.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't really come off the pad. It's just the hops. So even with these bigger pads, maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to plant that elbow into that pad for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The good thing is, if you guys don't know, East versus West rules is small hops where there's no advantage gained is not called. So if you guys are in the center of the table, it's just a small hop and no one moves. It's not a call. However, if it's on a go and when you hop and there's advantage gain, then that'll still be called. So just to make you both aware of that. Dakota, what's your score prediction here?
Earlier today, I gave Eli the edge. I said it was 55-45. I'm still going to give Eli that edge. Like I was saying, it's because I've met Eli too. So it's kind of like I've never met George. So, but I'll give it a 55-45, and I could see this one going deep. And I could also see it being an endurance match, which I'm really excited for. I was saying earlier, I think you guys have a lot of potential for match of the night here. Just by watching that round robin match you guys did, it was really close. And unfortunately, elbow fouls got in the way. But it's going to be fun to see a super match where someone's going to have to bury somebody else. So good luck, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm personally looking forward to it because you guys have only pulled the one time, and Eli does have the win. He has to be the favorite on paper, but I really, really think this match is a very, very close match, 50-50, maybe 51-49 to Eli, just because he does have that last win, but I'm very excited for this. Next up, we have Matt King versus Vios Anthulis. Eli, do you know both of these guys? You know Matt?
I know Matt. I practiced it with him before. He has a really good and strong hand.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more. Tell me a little bit about the other guy.
So Vios Anthulis, he's originally from Greece. He moved to Sweden. He's lived in Sweden for quite some time. He's pulled Europeans and WAF a few times. He's had some super matches with guys like Vlad the Destroyer. They go back and forth. On the right hand, it's very close. On the left hand, Vios kind of just flash pins Vlad. What else? Right-handed and left-handed. This year, he won Swedish Nationals at 105 kilo, but this match is at 95 kilo, so he's cutting down for it.
Okay, how did he do at the WAF and Europeans?
So his best performance was he got silver in Europeans, and he actually flash pinned Prudnik on the left arm. On the right arm, that was at 90 kilo.
Oh, 90 kilo.
Yeah. On the right arm, I believe his best is like 5th place at Europeans.
So he played second lefty, but 5th right. And they're pulling right.
They're pulling right, yep.
Okay, yeah. So I know Matt, he's been not very long in arm wrestling, but established good already.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy, he pulls inside or outside, or both?
Both. Typically, he'll start with a top roll. When it does get stopped, because his hand's not that big, sometimes it gets stopped. He's comfortable shooting inside, or also pulling without his hand. He can kind of press down this way.
He goes like
Matt,
this too a bit. Like he tries to stay out until it's gone. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, he pulls outside only.
Yep.
I've seen him, I would say, panic a little bit when somebody gets him inside. So it depends if I know his hand is really strong and it's not easy to get him inside, but I'll say I'll say um I'll say 50 or 60 to Matt and 40 to the other guy. If Matt takes his hand, he able to finish.
Okay. Yeah. George, what do you think about this match? Obviously, you know Matt. Do you know Vios at all?
I'm not that familiar with him, honestly, but the way Matt has progressed, man, oh my God, like his top roll is amazing. The way he can control center, he's just really good, and he's really strong right now. So I'm going with Matt on this one. Of course, that's my dog. So
Yeah. Of course, us Florida guys are going to root for each other, right? It only makes sense. Dakota, how do you see this match?
Well, first I just want to say John Hutchinson said Matt King will take that hand. So we got Matt King fans in the chat, which is nice to see. Yeah, I mean, I think he's very aggressive from what I watched, and he really likes to get what he wants in the setup. So I hope that Matt King understands that going into the match and doesn't settle for anything less. I've noticed that with people who are, even if you have a good establishment in the sport, but you're kind of newer, sometimes people will take advantage of you in the setup. So I hope he watches that. But Vios looks really good to me, so I am going to give him the edge. I think one thing Vios is going to have to watch for is keeping his elbow on the pad. From what I watched, he does have issues sometimes because he likes to go straight back and he shoots off the pad, or so to kind of keep controlled in that sense, I think, for him, and I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I'm rooting for Matt, but I do see him as an underdog. I'm taking Vios 55-45, but it's very close. To me, it's going to come down to who wins center. If Matt gets here at all, he will win. I'm almost 100% confident. But if Vios is able to take Matt out of his shoulder, then it's going to be a lot harder for Matt to win from there. Next match, we have Ahmed from France. This is a right-handed match, and he's facing Paul Passmore. Eli, do you know Paul Passmore?
I don't know. No.
Okay, no problem. Paul Passmore, he's been in the sport quite a while. He's out of Georgia. He trains with like Ron Bath and that team. His biggest super match win, I would say, is against Corey West, right-handed. That was WAL like 2018, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
What weight class is this?
unlimited.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know them, I'll say 50-50.
Fair enough. George, obviously, we've already established you don't know Ahmed that well, but do you know Paul?
yeah, I'm familiar with Paul. He's a super strong dude. I've seen him get some really good wins on some good guys, but I don't know who the other guy is that he's facing. I haven't really watched him at all, so it's kind of hard to give you an answer on that one. So.
Yeah, fair enough. No worries. Dakota, what do you think?
Paul is, like, from what I've watched, he seems to be very like supinated cup based. And even if people get him across the table, he's still digging that cup in. And so I think after watching, like, Ahmed is gonna really want to make sure he doesn't give Paul any give in that cup supination area or let him get inside of his shoulder. I think Ahmed almost is gonna want to come this way a little bit to stop Paul from getting any give. So I think this is another one of them center of the table fights. But Paul looks very solid inside. I think if it gets in there at all, even if he's on losing side, it could be interesting.
Yeah, definitely interesting to me. I think I'm going to give Paul the slight edge here, 55-45. Although I believe Ahmed is technically a better arm wrestler, I just think Paul's power may be too much. Next
So
match. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I just want to say sometimes too, it's tough for athletes to have a match and then get into another match. Like that could be a factor that we're not always thinking about. Like Ahmed could have a left-handed 5-round banger and then turn around and have to jump into a right-handed war too, and that can play a huge factor, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially for guys who don't have great cardio or they have bad adrenaline dumps during matches, absolutely it can be a factor. We tried to make that as little of a factor as possible by putting 4 matches between theirs, but sometimes, you could have a match in the beginning of the day and for the rest of that day you're ruined. It doesn't really matter how much time you rest. So, hopefully we'll still be able to get a good match out of that, but yeah, like you said, you never know. Next match is 231 left-handed. We have Matt Mask versus Wilton Brock. Eli, I know you know Matt. Do you know Wilton Brock?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about him.
So Wilton Brock, he's been around for a long time. He's based out of Florida. So he's been pulling since before like UAL even. He has given matches to guys like Devin. He's given a really good match to. He beat Sean Latimer to win a WAL hammer, or it was before the hammer. He just won the WAL class. He has a lot of great wins on guys like Jerome Loud, Jonathan Breda, guys of that caliber. In Florida, like George knows because he's been around, like we won't hear from or see Wilton for like 2 years. All of a sudden he just pops up and whoops everyone and then disappears again. So it's hard to know what shape he's in because he's not consistent, but yeah, very strong overall, especially on the left.
I know Matt. I know him for his right hand, not his left hand, but I would probably give him a chance because he's been pulling more. And then the other one, what's
Wilton Brock.
Wilton. If he's coming from LA off how many years? Interesting match, Jerome. If he beat Jerome Loud and other guys, I assume him to be very strong. So I'll give it 55 to Matt to 45 Wilton.
Okay, fair enough. George, how do you see this match?
Yeah, I mean, Wilton, he's got the strength. Matt Mask, he's just really tall, man. He's got that leverage, and he's known for his hand. But I'm going to say 50-50, it's because Matt Mask, I don't know, he might have a little more edge. He's a little more aggressive, I believe, with his surges. But it's going to be a dogfight, I believe, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Dakota, aka Matt Mask's training partner, how do you see this going?
I think Matt's just gonna hook him and hold him and talk to him a little bit, and then he's just gonna roll him over.
I tell you, if Matt can hook Wilton and talk to him and slowly pin him, Matt is incredible.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think
I'm
it's
just
gonna
bugging.
hook.
I don't think that will happen either. I'm just bugging, but I am gonna give Matt the edge. This one's exciting for me just because I have heard about Wilton, but I've never actually seen him, and I'm excited to meet him and see what he brings to the table. I think Matt is also curious to see what Wilton brings to the table because we have been like looking for information on this guy, and like you said, like we can find old matches, but people develop different things throughout the years, so it's really hard to gauge off of a 9-year match, like a match 9 years ago, on what we need to get Matt ready for. So the biggest thing for us was just getting Matt prepared kind of for anything, and then as the match develops, we will slowly kind of see what we need to adjust and where we need to go. So
yeah, absolutely. Starting out like a week ago when I first started with a podcast, I was thinking like Matt 60-40, but I've almost flip-flopped. Like I'm almost like I don't know. I'm giving the edge to Wilton now. I'm gonna go Wilton 55-45, but I won't be surprised either way.
Chance is so sick of me gassing on Matt that he's just like slowly picking the other guys.
Yep, by the time Saturday comes, I'm like, 100% Wilton Brock. 3-0 easy. No, but okay, next match is 165 right hand match. It's between Patrick Berg and Hunter Knopfs. Eli, what do you think of this match?
I pulled both of them. I pulled Patrick when he was coming for WAO.
Mhm.
I was able to beat him in a tough match. I pulled Hunter in Tennessee. I beat him also. Uh, these both guys go inside, but I think Patrick, he can pull outside too. And he's experienced. He's been pulling a lot. He's been pulling in Europeans, and I think he took third place at the Zloty, if I'm not mistaken, right-handed. Um, so it's gonna be a really good match, and I think the big factor will go if I don't, because he's cutting weight. Patrick is cutting weight,
Yep.
and if he's able to keep his power, I give a slight advantage to Patrick. But also
Just to give you a little bit of information on Patrick's weight, he's been walking around 80 kilo, and he just made 78 kilo not too long ago for Swedish nationals.
yeah, and this is 75, right?
75.
Yeah, so he looks big, He looks big. So I give it 55 Patrick and 45 Hunter because he has to cut weight, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to recover fast. So
Yeah, we will see. Hopefully, it's going to be a close match.
I want to see a war. I want to see a war. On
Yeah.
that one. Inside,
Don't we all?
straight inside.
Yeah, I want to see 3-2 every single match, like all wars for every match on the card.
Stock is
Yeah. What do you think of this match, George?
Yeah, man. Hunter's he's known for his speed, and he gets there just about every time. So, and he's really strong in the hook, and I believe it's going to come down to whoever gets to their spot first.
Yeah.
That's going to play a big factor.
I know Patrick is not gonna pull him inside. He's gonna try and pull him outside.
He's going to go a different angle.
Yeah, and Hunt gonna slip out to go inside in the strap. So
Yeah, that hook might work better for him in the strap, but we'll see. But, I'm going to have to give this one to Hunter.
All right. What do you think, Dakota?
Eli, do you think that Hunter will be able to set the hook, or do you not
he's
think
gonna be able to set the hook inside the strap more than outside the strap because Patrick he can top row, and his top row is good as his hook. And he it's not a full top row, it's like middle. He can take your hand and keep like
Yep.
like right there side. So if I don't know how's Hunter wrist when I pulled him, his I felt like he's really good on the inside, but I was able to take his hand. So I think for him, it's probably better to pull him in the strap with Patrick, just straight up.
Yep.
And endurance will play a big factor. I think Hunter might have a better endurance than Patrick.
Yeah. Dakota, did you give your opinion?
I'm still going to give the edge to Hunter like I did this morning. I'll do like a 55-45 as well, though. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with that top roll lane and just to see how the match kind of evolves.
Yeah. It's funny. I literally have no clue on any prediction that I've given, like even the podcast earlier, much less a few ago. So my prediction might be different every single time. But yeah, that's just because I really think a lot of these matches are really close. I'm going to give the slight edge to Patrick just based off of experience. He has a lot of experience pulling a lot more high-level guys than Hunter does. Hunter has experience with all the U.S. guys, but no one international really. So for that reason, I'm just going to give the edge to Patrick. 55-45, but it's going to be a very good match, I expect.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said this morning. So
it is?
Yeah.
Okay, phew. I was worried. I'm like, oh god. Next match is Robbie Russell versus Gabriel. We just had them on the podcast a couple hours ago. Eli, do you know Robbie Russell and Gabriel from Italy?
Yeah, I know Robbie. I pulled Robbie. I don't know much about the Gabriel who's he pulling.
So Gabriel is rank 190 kilo in Italy and rank 4 overall in Italy. Behind, of course, Hermes Frank. I think his name's Manuel, something like that, the super heavyweight. And then it's Gabriel in Italy.
Okay.
Gabriel has placed, usually he places, I think, like 6th or 7th in WAF.
I assume he is a top roller, right? He
Yeah,
topped
yeah.
off.
Just like everyone else from
Yeah.
Italy, right?
Yes, I know Robbie. He's strong inside. If he gets you inside, man, that guy is a brick wall. You
Yeah.
know. So I say I say 55 to 45 to the Italian guy.
Okay.
If
George,
if he takes his hands, but if Robbie just from the go inside, that's it. It's game over.
yeah. You don't think that there's any chance that the Italian guy has enough hook pressure?
No, he might have. He might give him, but I think Robbie's inside is way stronger. I think
Would you say Robbie's inside pressure for a 95 kilo is elite level?
inside.
Yeah.
95. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. Just he needs to work. The thing is, he's strong. He is very strong. He needs to work on his technique.
Yeah.
If he can put his technique together, he could be a top.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. George, what do you think of this match?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Robbie's opponent, but Robbie's just strong as an ox, so
Robbie was on here earlier and he said, I hope George doesn't remember, but I'm pretty sure he beat me back in the day at 165.
I did, and I can't believe he remembers that because I was telling my friends in Tennessee and no one believed me.
Well,
Like,
Robbie went live on the podcast and told everyone that you did beat him. So
yeah, that's like when he first started back in those days.
yeah, that's funny. I didn't even know about that match, and I try to keep pretty on top of things. But
Yeah, it was at a WAL qualifier in 2017 in Georgia at one of Ron Baff's tournaments.
gotcha. Well, hey, now you can tell everyone you beat the guy that beat Jerome and Craig Touye.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Watch out, Eli. Dakota, what do you think?
I think after this morning, Robbie was like oozing confidence about like just his hook, and getting in there. And I don't know how good Gabriel's endurance is. And so I think that's going to come into play because I feel like there's going to be a point where he gets that hook set. And so I initially had Gabriel with the edge, but I'm going to switch on that and go 55-45 the other way. Just because I think that inside lane and the confidence that he has to get there, it was enough to win me over.
All right, fair enough. I think I picked Gabriel, and I think I'm going to stay with Gabriel. I just think that Gabriel, his speed and his experience is going to, be the winning factor in this match. If it goes inside, I know Gabriel seemed confident, and if it went inside, he was okay. But I don't see Gabriel being able to hook Robbie. But Robbie sometimes he struggles with speed, and he struggles with a top roll. So like John Therian was able to get around on him going top roll. Brandon Elsesser was able to get the win on him going top roll. So I think Gabriel's top roll is better than both of them, maybe similar to Elsesser. So yeah, it's just to me, it's about if Robbie fixed that hole in his game. If he did, it's on. If not, we might see Gabriel speed take over there. I'm gonna go.
Robbie, if you're watching, do not hang on to his hand. Let it go to the street.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect advice to give Robbie. Really? Maybe Eli, maybe you can hop in Robbie's corner. Next match we have Emil Ekstrom versus Andrei Sharkovich. It's at 231 left-handed. Eli, do you know these guys?
I know Andre very well. Tell me a little bit about Emil.
So yeah, Emil is from Sweden. He's
Okay.
one of the top guys from Sweden. His biggest wins in the US, he had a super match with Brandon Elsesser. He beat Brandon very easily 3-0.
Lefty?
Lefty, yep. And
Okay.
then afterwards, he hopped in the class. He won his class over Alex Bezyaskov, Schoolboy's brother.
Uh-huh.
And then he won overalls over Artem Taranenko and Chris Chandler as well.
Uh-huh. How did he do with Christian Artem?
He flash pinned them both.
Okay.
And then besides that, it's just mostly been practice pulls. Like in practice pulls, he was beating like Lachlan Adair left-handed. He was beating who else was he gripping up with? I can't think, but a lot of pretty high-level guys only in practice, so it only counts so much.
Yeah.
Samusha, he was beating in practice pulls as well, all on the left. Obviously, you know who Andre is, so I don't have to explain him.
Yeah, I know Andre very well. He's coming from bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him when I met him first time in Nevada. I think it was Hawthorne, or no, not Hawthorne. Somewhere in Nevada by Reno. It was national championship. He was pulling amateurs back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was pulling amateurs in WAL.
Yeah, he won the amateurs division in WAL.
He did win the amateurs, yeah.
Over Paul Lynn.
I won the lefty 165 that year. He progressed very well for the past 5-6 years, very well. And I think it's going to be a tough match for him. It's going to be a very tough match for him. I think I'll say 50-50.
Okay, fair enough. George, what do you think?
Yeah, man, Emil, he's a beast. I got to grip up with him a while back when it was at one of the practices with you actually, and yeah, his left just feels insanely strong. You know, he's way stronger than me, obviously. So he couldn't really, but Andre, he's getting better. I know his right, I feel like, is stronger and better than his left, but he's very technical both arms. Like he knows what he's doing on that table, but I feel like Emil is just a little too strong though, left-handed. So I'm gonna go with Emil on this one.
All right. How do you see it, Dakota?
I am going with Emil. Just got that slight edge, I think, because he's left arm dominant. I think that's going to come into play, but I still think it's going to be a super fun match.
Yeah. On paper, I have Andre as the favorite, but I'm taking Emil to win, of course.
Why is that?
Just for reasons. Just for reasons. He might have had something to do with some recent event in my life recently or something like that. Next match is Vios Antoulis. He's pulling left-handed against Brent Rockers. That's at 209. Eli, how do you see that match?
I don't know much about both of these guys. Can't really say too much. I'll say 50-50, honestly.
Okay. George, any opinion on this?
Well, I've watched Brent. He's awesome. He's super strong. So he's come to Florida a few times, and he's got some good wins on some guys. But I'm not familiar with his opponent, so this one's hard for me again to answer.
Okay, fair enough. What do you think, Dakota?
I think 50-50 now, but I'm rooting for Brent.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I think Vios is pretty heavy favorite. I mean, like I said, left-handed. He took second at Europeans. He flash pinned Prudnik, took his hand. He most recent super match was against Vlad the Destroyer out of Latvia, and he beat him like 3-0 extremely easily. So I think Vios is the favorite, but Brent is the number one ranked guy at 209 in North America. Very strong hand. He's been at the top of the North American game for like 20 years. So I definitely don't I don't count Brent out of this match, but I think Vios is probably 60-40 favorite. Next match, Cody Merritt versus Eric Falgren. Eli, do you know Eric?
No.
No, okay. So a little bit about Eric. Also, Eric's from Sweden. Also, he's the Swedish national champion. Eric was very, very good back in like 2014, 2015, 2016. He was pulling at Europeans and WAF. I believe he got bronze on the left arm. This is a left arm match.
Was he pulling open class or?
Yeah, open class.
Okay.
Yeah, open. He broke Gennadi's left arm and retired Gennadi left in a hook. And then I believe it was the same year he had a match with Levon. And outside of the straps, he gave Levon quite a bit of trouble. And then it slipped. And in the straps, Levon was too powerful.
So when is his last time he pulled?
Last time would have been most recently Swedish Nationals. He won undefeated pretty easily.
Did it? And they pulling lefty.
Lefty, yeah.
Okay. I'll give advantage to him because he's younger, right?
Yeah, I want to say Eric's like 32-ish, something.
Yeah.
And Cody is 50.
Okay, yeah, I think because of his youth and the wins that he had. I know Cody is strong. If Cody takes his hand, and he may take it, but I give advantage to his opponent.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing that you mentioned, taking his hand, because both of these guys, they pull like really high knuckle and fight for hand control. So I think it'll come down to probably that. Although Eric is a bit taller, Eric's like 6'6", so maybe he has a little bit of leverage advantage. Cody's hand is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the other guy
Eric
had a little more experience. Been around. I mean, Cody's been around for. It's hard for me to say. It's really only watched Cody pull. He's from Florida as well. He's Florida fast all over the place. It's just hard to see where this match is going to be familiar with Cody's opponent.
Yeah, fair enough. What do you think, Dakota?
I'm going to be rooting for Cody, but I'm going to give the edge to Eric. I mean, Cody's just a super awesome dude. I hope he pulls it off, but I have to favorite Eric. Sorry.
Yeah. I think Cody on paper might still be the favorite. I mean, Cody's the number one guy in North America. Last time he faced Corey West, he got the win over Corey West. We've seen him at like the East versus West stage. We saw him pull knuckles up. Like, he's very experienced. He's been around a long time, and Cody's also a WAF champion. But unfortunately, I think Cody's on a little bit of a decline, and he's facing a very young and hungry
Let's go at it.
Eric. So I'll take Eric 55-45. Next match we have is James English versus Auden Larrett. What do you think, Eli?
I've looked up James. I've seen him pull very heavy weights, like very incredible. Is there a weight limit or no?
No weight limit.
Yeah. I think he may take the first round and gas out. And I think Auden is going to take it because of his experience, with he's pulling more. But I think James, he's very strong. He's just not enough experience, not enough practice. So he probably will gas out first.
Okay. George, what do you think?
The way Austin pulls leverage and how tall he is, and I believe it's a fair day for him. I think he needs to take his go outside, bang inside with him, I believe. So I'm going to go with Auden.
Taking Auden, okay. George, whenever you talk, if you wouldn't mind like picking up your phone, just because you were cutting out, but I got what you said. You're going to go with Auden there. So
For sure.
Yeah. Dakota, what do you think?
Auden. I'm going to go with Auden. I think.
Canada.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong. Like I've said, James is doing all the right things, and he could very well just have the strength advantage. I'm curious to see what happens. It'd be fun to see Auden in deep waters as well.
Yeah.
To see how he does, because other than that Arm Wars he was in, we haven't really seen him in deep waters in a super match format. So
Yeah, I give the first round to James because he looks stronger.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I do think that James is stronger, and everyone's taking Auden. I believe Auden is the favorite, but I think James is going to shock a lot of people and pull out this victory, like 3-1. But I won't be surprised. Like if Auden wins, that's what's expected. If James wins, I will be surprised. It's just I think he's going to surprise
Auden before the go, he's gonna play with him with his height, just blow his forearm. And James, he's not experienced, but very strong. So if he'll probably gas out first, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah. One thing to consider is like I would always have given Auden the edge when it comes to endurance, but Auden has been putting on weight rapidly, like rapidly. He told me his weight, and I can't say it, but because he doesn't want it to be public. But I'll tell you, he's put on a ton of weight, which could be great for power. But sometimes when you put on weight so fast, your endurance goes down. So that might be a factor.
If he cuts, about 4 or 5 pounds before the tournament, just cut the water and show
He's
up.
not cutting. Eli, I'll tell you, he's coming in heavier than Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just something to think about. Obviously, you got to give anyone.
What's James' weight? Because he looks big.
James is like 215, 210, 215.
Yeah.
And he's 5'9", so he's a little bit shorter. That's how he can look so big at a lighter
weight. He packs it really well, though, hey?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It'll be interesting. I'm excited for it. Next up, we have Derek Smith versus Travis Bagent, left hand. We got Travis coming back. Eli, what do you think? Does Derek have a chance?
If it was right-handed, yes, but left, I don't think he got anything for Travis. No disrespect to Derek. Derek's right is much better. So it's lefty. I think Travis will take it.
All right. George, what do you think?
Yeah, I only know Derek as a right-hand puller. I feel like I've never seen the guy pull left-handed.
So a little bit real quick about Derek's left. Derek's actually ranked higher left than he is right. He has wins over this guy named Abo from Georgia. Eli, do you know Abo? He was from California.
Yeah, I pulled Abo. I had wins over Abo too.
Well, okay.
That was just a practice after.
Gotcha. And then I guess his other big wins would be he beat Ron Bath. He has wins over Tony Tomlinson. His left shows up sometimes. He is still more of a right-handed puller, but he's not like brand new to left either. But sorry, continue, George.
But Travis is like a wizard on that table, man. He knows how to manipulate what he needs to and get what he needs to. If he can't get it, he's gonna fight for it. I'm going to have to go with Travis for sure on this one.
Fair enough. Dakota?
Yeah, I still have Travis. I think because he has more matches lined up, he's taking it seriously. And I think this is going to be I don't want to say tune-up because Derek is very good, but like in that aspect, I feel like that's how Travis is kind of taking this. It'd be nice to see Derek make it interesting, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really hoping that Derek surprises us all and comes out in 3-0s Travis just gets fired up. That'd be awesome. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. I believe if Travis is 75% of his best or better, then he's going to wipe the floor with Derek. If he's not, then it can be interesting. But we will see. We will see. The last person to pull Travis was Brandon Elsesser, who beat Travis 3-1 or something. So just putting that out there. Final match. Matt Mask versus Brad Grundy. That's at 231 pounds, right-handed. Eli, what do you think?
I think Matt, he's got a better hand than Brad. But Brad really surprised everyone when he pulled Pablo.
Pablo. Yeah, everyone but me.
Yeah. And Pablo had wins over what's his name? Over the guy. He had a super match in Istanbul.
Sanders.
Sanders, yes. You know. So Pablo is strong, and Brad was able to, it was it 3-0.
So round 1, Pablo hit his lane. Brad let it go, and then Brad won the 3 following rounds. So it's 3-1.
Was it? I know I watched it, but I kind of forgot it. Was it outside, inside?
Pablo went inside. Brad kind of caught it. He didn't get turned inside, but he was too far out.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I think Brad can pull inside as well.
Mhm.
Matt, he only goes outside. So if Brad, I think Matt is gonna take it. I think Matt is gonna win. But if Brad will in the strap or maybe outside the strap, if he can get him inside, he may take 1 or 2 rounds. He may. We'll see. Depends on his shape. So
Yeah. I'll tell you, I pulled with Brad like 3 weeks ago. This is the best I have ever felt, Brad. I think
yeah,
he's the best shape he's ever been.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, if he's gonna beat Matt, I'm not gonna be surprised. But I give advantage to Matt because his hand is very strong, and I think right now he's better. We can see it from his last super matches. He progressed a lot,
Yeah.
so he's back at his best, back at that championship level. So for Matt, if he takes his hand, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. One thing Brad likes to say is he hasn't lost his hand in the last couple years in any of his super matches. So anytime he's lost, like the round against Pablo, for example, he still had his hand. He just got put out of his shoulder.
Okay.
Not to say that he's faced anyone at Matt's level as far as the top roller, but Brad's wrist is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. George, what do you think?
Yeah, man. Mask, he's one of my favorite arm wrestlers. You know, he's one of such a good top roller, and he's so nasty on the table. But Brad's pretty nasty, and he can get vicious with his hits, and he doesn't let up at all. And Brad's pretty special, man, and so strong right now. I'm gonna have to go with Brad for sure. The way he's been pulling the past couple of years, it's just amazing.
Yeah, he's
With
been looking
Brad.
great. All right, one Matt, one Brad. Dakota, let me guess, you're gonna pick Brad Grundy?
No. I know who you're picking though, so this is gonna work out anyways. Yeah, I gotta go with Matt. I just think he's gonna beat him. I mean,
Yeah, you are training with him, so I would hope
yeah.
so. 3-0?
I'll give Brad 1 just because we're trying to get Matt through this, but as you guys have probably seen through Matt's old matches, he sometimes that first round he doesn't fire on all cylinders. But do you think Brad Grundy would beat Derek Smith?
I don't. They're both my friends. I don't really want to say that, but
Because I'm just curious.
I will say Brad and Matt very different pullers, so it's hard to do arm wrestling math. Like just because Matt beat Derek, if I believed that Derek beat Brad, that doesn't mean that Matt also beats Brad.
Oh,
Like
I
it would be
agree. I was just curious.
I think Brad and Derek's actually probably a really good match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to
But
run that
I
after
actually
he loses.
I honestly believe that Matt is an easier match than Derek is for Brad specifically.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I'm giving it 3-1 Brad. So it works out that you gave Brad a round. And actually, I think that Matt is going to win round 1. Brad will make the adjustment, and then Brad will win from there.
That's fair.
Yeah. Just
I
like
think
we
it's
saw
gonna
when Brad.
be. I
Go
think
ahead.
it's gonna be all matches will probably be in the strap.
Yeah, it would be very surprising if anything happened outside the strap.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not good. If someone's getting pinned outside the strap, they probably have no hope.
Hang on, Brad. Hang on, Brad.
Yeah, right. That's great advice. If you're facing Matt Mask, just hold on to his hand and let him take you for a ride.
Hey, question: in the referee's group, is it gonna be any movement foul or warning?
Any movement is a warning.
Okay.
Yeah, same as East versus West. So if you want to know what our rule set is going to be, watch any of the East versus West rule set meetings, like the most recent ones, and it's going to be the exact same. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more strict than East versus West in the sense that I'm going to tell the referees not to be afraid. Like I don't want the refs to feel the pressure to not let a match end on fouls. Of course, we all want to see good matches, but we don't want to see a 30-minute setup and it's just the ref trying to take control but not giving out fouls. We want to avoid that as well. So it'll still be movement in a ref's grip is a warning. Elbow hops, small ones with no advantage gain, that's still no call. But the refs will be instructed if you can't take control, give out a foul. So one other thing that we'll mention when we go over the rules meeting when you guys are here in person is it's 90 seconds between the rounds. However, if the ref calls you up after 90 seconds and then you choose to hold on, I got to get water, or hold on, I got to walk over here and do something, and you try to drag that time out, that will be an automatic warning. So just keep that in mind. Try to keep it to the 90 seconds. Before I let you guys go, I just wanted to say one more time, just plug where you can get the tickets. So in-person tickets as well as the pay-per-view is available at thechallengerseries.com. The pay-per-view is $15 right now. The in-person tickets are $35. Day of, that price will be higher. So make sure you buy it while it's cheap. It started at $10 and $20, and I've been trying to tell everyone, buy it while it's cheap. So save yourself some money. But head over there, support the event. We really appreciate it. We hope we can continue putting on more events like this in the future. There's still a couple of GA Plus and VIP slots if anyone's interested, and that, as well as the host hotel information, is on the website. But anything else, guys, you want to go over?
George, let me see your bicep. Let me see your bicep.
Bicep. I told Chance when Chance told me, "Hey man, what's your bicep?" I told him size, so I could. It's coming.
Let's go. Are you stronger than Tennessee?
A whole lot stronger.
Yeah. Okay, that's good, man.
I'm a different George.
Remember this, George?
I'm glad you got me on your wall, buddy. Oh shit!
He crossed you out.
That's it, George. I'm sorry, man.
Savage.
Hey, you can't call for there you go. I was gonna say you can't call out George's bicep and not give a flex.
Yep.
All right. It's going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you just in a few days here, but thank you so much for coming on, and I'm excited for y'all's match.